Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. We have this beautiful young lady here. We're going to talk about makeup SOS. This is Kanika Akinshegun. All right, it's Kanika. She'll pronounce her last name. She sounds much better than me. Wait till you hear her speak. It's awesome. We're going to talk about her journey. We're going to talk about makeup. We're going to talk about effortless beauty and so much more. Welcome to the show, Kanika. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good, thank you. I'm so pleased to be here.
So pleased to have you. I could listen to your accent all day long. It's
Oh, really?
awesome. You're
It's so
coming from you're
boring.
coming from the UK, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I live in a smallish city called Bristol. So it's like, yeah, it's like just a bit outside of London. So probably about an hour
Beautiful.
or
And it's a
half.
little later
Yeah.
there, so thank you. Thank you for spending time with us a little later in the evenings. What is it, 7 o'clock you
No,
said?
so yeah,
Seven.
7 p.m.
All right. So they love the journey. We talked about this before we went live. People always want to know more about how you got to where you're at before they'll listen to what you have to say about where you're at. So tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I have a full-time job aside to this as well. So I'm the head of recruitment and customer service. And I guess more my passion has always been kind of like art and design. I've got a degree in graphic design and I love designing stuff. I've always loved makeup. I'm an avid fan more so of eyeshadow. I had to wear glasses today because cannot find any of my contact lenses. So, which is a bit of a bummer because I put on so much eyeshadow.
Oh, look how
So
pretty. Yes.
this is all my eyeshadow that I've made from scratch for myself. So I've always loved, you know, cruelty-free brands, but after researching and having, putting this together, I kind of, found out cruelty-free doesn't always mean that. So yeah, I
It
guess
doesn't.
my
Why? What
journey started
happened?
there. Well, a lot of brands, I mean, you'll be surprised, a lot of makeup brands are very much intertwined with each other, which means that they've got a clause where they say they're cruelty free and then it's made in China. And the law in China is that you can still, test on animals. You can still have non-vegan products, so kind of byproducts of animals. And a lot of people don't want that. They want honest brands, and
Yes.
it's hard to find. So I thought I'll make my own.
Well, yeah, but
As you
what's
do.
that like? Or it's one thing to love makeup, to love getting dressed up, to love the whole thought process behind beauty and the makeup industry. It's another thing to take the leap and actually open your own. Did you know anything about chemistry and biology or whatever it is that you need to mix all these things before, or did you have to learn everything?
I've done a lot of research because I actually started off just by reselling stuff. So I started to resell like eyeshadows and of bigger brands, so like NYX and stuff like that. So I researched their products, and then that's how I got to realize that not everything is what it seems. So the more research that I did, I write a weekly blog that helped me to produce some more kind of research. I just wanted to kind of find out what it really meant to be cruelty free and vegan in the first place. So I read as many blogs as I possibly could, looked at as many videos, understood different types of, what the kind of the products are on makeup packaging. And some of them are like 10 words long, and you're just like,
Right.
what is this? And the more you develop and have a look, I just kind of realized, well, actually, that's a chemical that a lot of companies don't necessarily need to use. So I just kept it simple, kept looking around, and here I am.
So what's the process? I'm fascinated. First of all, I'm big on the cruelty-free part. I think that's so important, and so kudos to you for that. What's the process, though? So, like in my mind, because I'm not a science person, all I can think about it. First question was, where does she get the chemicals that I can't pronounce? And then how do you decide how they all go together in a formula and make what you want it to look? Because it's one thing to put them together. It's another thing for it to be
Yeah.
beautiful, like the eyeshadow that you showed. So
Yeah.
how did you figure out how to mix everything and do everything? And is it as complicated a process as I'm making it, or is it less?
It's, I mean, the main bulk of my products are mica. They're called mica powders, and they're basically it's part of a titanium dioxide, which is a natural occurring powder in rocks, in a rock formation. So what happens is, because I'm such a small scale compared to obviously all these big makeup brands, I didn't have to put in all these extra things because I'm not mass producing it. So the only things that I put in was isopropyl alcohol, which is still quite a low, chemical formula, which keeps it compact, which I'll show you actually, which I've started to practice to do it at the minute. But I started with, let me just show you what I started with. So this is a loose, I'm just going to take the lid off this because you'll be able to see it better. But this is like a loose powder, basically. So this is mica. Excuse my horrible nails. Lockdown doesn't treat me good. It's not been treating me well, I'll tell you. But yeah, this is basically this is mica. So what I've added to that is just a few drops of coconut oil, just so that it goes on smooth. And that's basically what I've mixed and started. I've kept it just as pure, as simple as that. And then when you get to a palette, this is what I just produced this yesterday, actually. So when you get to a palette, it becomes, a little bit more complicated because I'm using isopropyl, and I put in a couple of extra, essential oil drops, just so that it kind of keeps that silky kind of texture. And I'll just show you a little bit on there. So that's still kind of, wrong way. I've put my arm the wrong way. So
it's all right. You're backwards. Yes. No.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see. So yeah, so these are basically, so I've kept it completely, absolutely simple. Just the actual powder itself is the main source for the eyeshadows. And because I'm not mass producing it, I can keep it quite simple, which is what I've looked to do. And micas aren't tested on animals. Like I say, they're from a rock formation. So it's as natural as we can get, really.
So all right, so you understand the science. We get to the science part. Now, how do you decide how to market? How do you get women, I'm assuming it's mostly women to trust you? And when you say, like, how do you build the brand, the business? We had a lot of questions before we went live when I posted this yesterday. A lot of people messaged me like, I got to know how she took her brand from that point to actually being able to talk about it. There's a website, there are products people can buy. You make it sound like it's easy. It's a process, correct?
Absolutely. And it's not been an easy one. I started off, I knew I wanted a range of models. I didn't want to market it as just being that, I'm a Black woman and it's just for Black women. I wanted it to be for everybody. As long as you care about it being cruelty free, we're good to go. I started off by messaging influencers, and I DM them and say, look, I've started this brand. Are you interested? And then I looked on accounts in TikTok. Hi, check out my website, which I built from scratch by myself, which was brutal.
Of course you did.
Never doing that again. So I just DM'd them, and over time, what started to happen was I was sending stuff out, and I was sending a lot of stuff out, and people weren't either getting back to me, they weren't posting, they were just keeping stuff and just saying, thanks for the stuff, see you later. So as time's gone on, I've kind of became brave enough to put the makeup on myself and model it myself, for one. And two, I've reached out to agencies instead. So there's an agency that I work with called Gold Diggers. And there's a couple of new ones that I'm working with. BSQ, who you probably know, BSQ Management, we got in touch, and so I'm using some of their artists.
Nice.
So it's kind of just trickled on from there, really. I found the agency routes a lot better because they help to manage that side of things, in terms of the relationship and making sure people actually post. and I've got a recruitment head. I've been in recruitment for over 10 years now. So I know what it means to get stuff out of people when I need it, if necessary. But it's yeah, the influencer route has not been enjoyable at all.
You know, it's interesting because I get a lot of more than I would imagine people reaching out, and I actually wasn't sure anybody was legit. That's my own fault for not digging. So kudos to you for finding the way to do it. I think there's a method to your madness that works for sure, because people reached out to me and they wanted me to try, I don't know what it was, XYZ. And I never got the sense that it went back to a real account. It probably did, and they were small scale. And now I'm going to be very cognizant of that, thanks to you. Let's talk about makeup. So I'm amazed at how much makeup options there are out there. As a guy, I'm incredibly thankful I don't have to do that. But the closest I've ever come on a daily basis is when I started, as I got older, using a moisturizer. And I'm like, okay, there's 9,000 of them. Just pick one. And my wife's like, no, you got to have the one for this. And my daughter said, no, you need this one. So there's so many choices out there. How do you separate yourself from the rest as you're building your business and your brand?
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as personable as I possibly can. I think at first I came across a bit I was so strategic in the way that I did stuff. A lot of my personality hasn't actually even come out yet. So I guess it's providing that personal service. And what I find is when I'm buying makeup or if I'm buying from bigger brands, if there's an issue, it's never really addressed. And I feel that I can move and kind of tailor a lot of things to my audience because it is just me. And, you know, when an order comes through and someone might say, can you mix 2 eyeshadows together? Or can you put this and this in a pack? I'm like, sure, yeah, absolutely, I can do that because, you know, it's not just about the sell for me, it's about the experience.
Right.
So that means a lot for me. And I've designed so much of this whole thing. You know, I've designed all the packaging, the logo, absolutely everything. So it does mean a lot to me. And I think I want to come across as being personable, but professional. You know, I don't want it to be slapdash. It has to look good, you know.
So why the SOS in the name?
So SOS stands for Save Our Souls. So make us save our
I didn't know that. Very nice.
Yeah, I know. I'm so bad. I haven't communicated this very well, I don't think. So yeah, it stands for Save Our Souls, which was an old Morse code. So I wanted it to basically be packaging and makeup stuff that women could, you know, see to have on the move when they're out, you know, as much as we are at the moment. So just when you're out, stuff that fits, you know, I've got stuff like this that's kind of really a good kind of size and shape for people.
Oh, I love it. The packaging's great.
Oh, thank you very much. I sourced that high and low. So I've gone more for like a kind of a squarish type, you know, look at the moment because I find that fits very well in handbags, in pockets, sides of stuff, easy to find. So I've kind of just wanted, it's kind of like an emergency, your go-to. This is your go-to stuff, you know. SOS is your go-to stuff.
I love it. All right, I have a question that a few people asked. What's your thought process on the trend for men's lines? I keep seeing this. It's fascinating to me. I'm so lazy about my moisturizer. I can't imagine having to put any kind of makeup on. I think what you guys have to go through. What's your thought process on that trend?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I've reached out to a couple of guys, but because it's quite niche, they end up to have such big contracts that, you know, I kind of probably can't really get into their little world. But I think it's absolutely fantastic. I came across a guy in Rio de Janeiro that I'm gonna reach out to him soon. He doesn't know yet. I'm just stalking his account a little bit.
That's good. That's what it's all about, right?
So yeah, I think it's a good trend. I think as long as whatever you're comfortable wearing, whatever you're happy with, as long as you support the cause of it being cruelty free, it being vegan, you know, I want my makeup to be for everybody. So it's not a specific race and it's not a specific gender. It's if you're happy with it, you wear it.
All right. So tell us, see how fast it goes. Tell everybody how the best way for them to reach out to you, how they can find out more about the makeup and more about your cruelty free and what you do. How can they reach you?
Yeah. So go, like, I don't know if you can see, this is basically my little business card. So it's a bit crumpled because I had it somewhere that shouldn't be, but this is basically my business card. But I'm on Instagram is where I'm most active. So it's just shop makeup SOS. And from there in the bio is the link to my website. And then we have like Facebook as well is linked to that. So it's makeupsos.cosmetics. But Instagram is where I'm most active. I have a weekly blog on beauty tips and news around the world about what's going on with makeup. So that's every week. So yeah, have a look on Instagram, have a look at the website. It's just Shop Makeup SOS and you'll see all the stuff there, all the new stuff. So yeah, reach out,
Fantastic.
have a look.
You're a joy. That was awesome. I love to hear stories
you.
from start to finish. And I don't know that we've had anybody on talk about their makeup line before. So this was a new one for me. So I'm very happy for you. Come back anytime you have a new product, you want to do a demonstration. I mean, I love all of that good stuff. We're here to help you promote.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. It's been awesome. Maybe next time I can like get my contact lenses so you can actually see my eyes. It's so annoying that I've had, you know, oh gosh. Let's hopefully lockdown will be over soon.
It looks good. I love it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kanika Akinshegun.
You got it. You said it.
Okay. All right. There we go. She's amazing. ShopMakeupSOS.com. Reach out to her. Let's support local, especially, or let's support our artists. Cruelty-free, vegan. I love the thought process behind it. Let's get behind our entrepreneurs. Thank you, Kanika, for staying up a little later and being on the TED Show. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.